Hello and blessings, beautiful Coven of the Witch Weaver. So here we are. We have discussed so many elements pertaining to the creation of a powerful and traditional charm. So I'm going to create a mock-up here, and I'm just going to do one this way, and I hope that this inspires you, gives you direction, and helps you to create your own charm in a powerful way. So here's what I have. I have one charm. This is going to be a protection charm, and I've written out my petition, and now I'm going to sign it. Okay. Write my birthday. Okay, you get the gist. So I'm doing a protection charm, and as such, this is what I have chosen. I have a crow claw here as a symbol of protection, and this is what I highly recommend. And this is a protection charm that was created specifically for me, different type of charm, but in a little spell bottle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to surround myself with these totems of charms. Now, I didn't have a black candle, not that I could see, I didn't look very hard, mind you, but I have created this protection candle. All I've done is grabbed one of my non-toxic Nimbin taper candles. I've written the word protection on it 9 times. I've anointed it with witch's shield and spiritual barrier. Okay? And so I'm going to light this now because I want a protective flame going. And so this is just something that I like to do. I didn't add this as a necessarily a must do, but I do like to create the environment, and that's something that I hope you've come to understand about me over our time together, is the creation of powerful environments in which to create magic. And so I have a little protection space on my altar at all times. You may see this. I have a protection sigil. I have black stones. I've got, tourmaline and things of that nature, crows, whole raven wing, crow's feathers, raven feathers, protection sprays, everything off to the side here, and that's usually how I have my altar set up. I happen to take spiritual and physical protection very, very seriously, and so no matter what type of altar I have at the time, whether it be reflective of the Sabbath or reflective of a working that I might be doing, I will always have a little corner devoted to protection because I believe that it is important. This is why I keep my Iansa statue. Here she is. I keep my Iansa on that side of my, I've made a mess, on that side of my altar as well. And so there we have it. So this is what I've got. So I've surrounded myself with protection charms, if you will. I've got protection candle going that's been carved and anointed. I have my altar lit up, and I'm going to be using this this rosemary sage, this rosemary bundle, because rosemary is deeply protective as well. And so I'm going to use it to smoke cleanse everything here, to smoke cleanse my space. And I say smoke cleanse in the space in place of smudge, but because some people find it offensive to use the word smudge. So smoke cleanse with a herb bundle. Now, rosemary is incredibly protective, and as such, a perfect one to use. I picked that up while it was burning. Like, give me a break. So that's going to be doing its thing there. And I will then take all of my ingredients and smudge them or smoke cleanse them. Everything. Absolutely everything. It has its own thing going on. Okay. So because I'm bringing this energy to me, I'm going to start by working on the petition. And so I'm going to use Spiritual Barrier in a fixing pattern, like so. I'm also going to use Witch's Shield. Now you may look at this as me using two different kinds of oils. The number 2 is still not present there because one oil is for one thing, so that is one tool, and another oil is for this one, that's another tool. So one crystal is what I'm using, one charm, one herb, one lot of black salt, one petition. So I'm sticking with the number 1 for this one, and I want it to be really powerful and really potent. I would like to use, actually, I'd like to use a wood. This is oak. This is oak wood, and I just felt the need to do this. So I have a wood there as well. This is just here for wisdom. I like to have bay. I have bay leaves all over my altar because bay brings wisdom, and whenever I'm doing a magical working, I want wisdom present. I'm not using bay in my spell. And so I've surrounded myself with protection totems. I've got everything lit on my table. I have the 4 elements present here. Earth, air, fire, water is here represented on my altar at all times. I have a plethora of earth on this altar. I have wood, crystals, botanicals, bones, woods, you name it, it's here. Right, and so I have created myself a space. Now this would be the time to call in your guides, your guardians, your ancestors to assist you. And so that is exactly what I'm going to do. I want to turn off this light because it's very, very stark. Let's just see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's better. That is way better. All right, so. Saravá, Orixá, Saravá. Saravá, Orixá, Saravá. Odoiá, Iemanjá, Odoiá. Epa rei, Nhaçã, epa rei. Ogumê. Salve Oxalá e salve Xangô, patrão do Centro São João Batista. Peço bênção da minha linda avó Delcília de Almeida Sussi. Peço bênção dos meus guias. Que meus guias me guiam. Saravá e Axé. Protection work is powerful work, and you need to elevate your power to do this. But not just protection work. Whenever you're creating magic, you raise energy. You can raise energy through movement. You can raise energy through heat. By the time I'm finished with my rattle, and by the time I have called in my Orisha, every hair on my body stands on end, and I have raised my energy. And so I just solidify it by warming my hands and clapping. Saravayashe. And so I've activated everything in my hands because my hands are going to be what is creating the magic today. So here I have already prepped my beautiful petition with oil, and I folded it towards myself. I fold it towards myself. I fold it towards myself. And what I might do is just dot it here with that witch's shield. Really do that work for me. And I'm going to stick that into my little muslin bag. Now I have included color magic in the section of this of this charm making for a specific reason, because we do use color in the making of charms. It's logical to do so. What I have here is a clear sort of calico muslin bag. It's actually a virgin tea strainer, and it is white, or cream if you will, but naturally white, not bleached. And so this creates the energy of you know, the white, it activates as a full spectrum. Now, if I had black, I would possibly use black. But what I'm doing here is I'm creating a protective shield. And so I've chosen white because I need it to express the energy, not to retain the energy. So defensive magic can call for black to be used, and it's very unique the way that they use black and white in defensive or protective magic, but I'm going to use white in this instance. So I have my anointed petition inside, which I have folded to myself. Then I have my tourmaline crystal, and I say in the name of the guides, guardians, ancestors, and Orisha, I bless and empower this tourmaline crystal so that it may be a powerful protective aid. May it create a shield around me. May no violence, ill will, or any negative, unscrupulous energy be directed my way in any way, shape, or form. In the name of the guides, guardians, and Orisha, Sarava, and Ashe. Kiss it, put it in there. Okay. In the name of the guides, guardians, ancestors, and Orisha, I bless and empower this evil eye charm. May this evil eye charm serve as a powerful aid in this magical charm bag. May it help me to become aware of any negative or violent energy of unscrupulous means that are being directed towards me, so that I may always be alert, so that I may know what is coming my way, when it is coming my way, so that I may take direct action to protect myself. Let me see it when it comes. In the name of the guides, guardians, ancestors, and Orisha, Sarava, and Ashe. In the name of the guides, guardians, ancestors, and Orisha, I bless and empower this black salt. May it be a powerful aid in absorbing unwanted and negative energies, actions, and ill intentions that have been directed my way. This I ask of you in the name of the guides, guardians, ancestors, and Orisha, Saravana She. So I'll just put a little sprinkling in here. There we go. And I will cork you. There we go. All right. Then I have rosemary herb here, also known as elf leaf. There's a lot of plastic here, so I could have empowered it through the plastic, but I just don't like to do that. So I'm using a good handful. In the name of the guides, guardians, ancestors, and Orisha, I bless and empower this rosemary herb. May it stand as a powerful aid in my protection, creating a shield that will defend me under all and any negative attack. Let me interact with the rosemary herb. Let it remind me of the power that it has. Let it retain that memory for me so that I always am forever aware of what this charm is meant for and the power that this charm has. Now, I'm saying this because rosemary is a longevity herb. Rosemary is also a memory enhancer. It is protective, and so when you use rosemary in a protective charm, it will help you to maintain that sense of constant vigilance towards that protection so that you can remain firm with that intention. In the name of the guides, guardians, ancestors, and Orisha, Sarava, and Ashe. Okay. Now that is all in there. Now if I wanted to now, I could, you know, stitch to the front here. I could write something on the front, and I would have, ordinarily I would have, but when it comes to protection charms, they are indescript, so they're secret. So if you were to see this little white baggie, not that you're supposed to see any charms, but if anyone were to glance upon it, even accidentally, they wouldn't be able to tell what it was. It would just look like an innocent little white bag. Protective magic is secret magic. If you are going to create protective magic, you do so under the cover of darkness and in secrecy, because protection magic is designed to be carried out that way. So, oh, almost forgot my wood. Okay, in the name of the guides, guardians, ancestors, and Orisha, I bless and empower this piece of oak bark. Oak is a sturdy wood. It's strong. It has been used to build. It is resolute in its strength. It is hardwood, and it can create powerful battle shields. And so let it sit in this My Protection charm as a powerful symbol of the witch's shield, so that no ill will may make its way through this powerful energy. This I ask my guides, guardians, ancestors, and Orisha Saravanashe. Okay. So this is where we do a little bit of knot work, okay? Powerfully tighten it. One. Two. Three. Four. Oops. Five. Six. Oh shit. Seven. 8. 9. Just going to tie it into a little bow at the end so that the ends aren't dangling too much, because I don't want to trim it. Okay, so there we have it. And now we get to the portion of activation. Okay, in the name of the guides, guardians, ancestors, and Orisha, I bless and empower this charm so that it may be a powerful shield that protects me in everything that I do, everywhere that I go, through every breath that I take, in the name of the guides, guardians, ancestors, and Orisha, Saravanashe. And so here I get to feed it, and I'm going to feed it with, I'll probably feed it with the witch's shield. Just a little drop like that. Rub it on my hands because I'm going to hold it up, and I'm going to breathe into it. So now I put this in my body, so I'm going to tuck it down my bra so that it can bond with my energy. If I can get it down my bloody bra, that's it. That is. And there we have it. And that is the making of a charm. Now, here are some things that are worth mentioning. When creating your charm, be mindful of your ingredients, be mindful of your colors, be mindful of your numbers. When you sit down to create sacred space, you'll of course have your Coven candle going, and mine is going over here. Not that you can see it, but it is. It's going here. I also have 2 hoodoo candles on this side, plus this protection candle over here, which I just recently anointed and lit. Now, I was explaining to you the fact that I created myself a new candle. I needed a candle there anyway because my old candle had burnt all the way down, so I thought I'll use this as an opportunity to add an extra layer to my ritual. And so I grabbed the color of candle which was closest to me, and it's a coral. It's a coral candle, probably better suitable for love work, but I used it with a specific intention. I carved it up. I used the end of this charm, this protection charm, which is a crow skull or a raven skull. I used that to direct my energy into the candle, so I carved it up. And that's what I did. I had my crow around me, and I'm explaining to you this. I have, evil eye charms around me as well. And I have things within my environment, tokens, symbols within my environment that are specifically designed to amplify the energy of protection. And so if you are working protection magic, I encourage you to add elements into your altar or onto your altar that will work in cooperation with that energy. And so if it's love, then add love tokens and symbols and curios. If it's riches or finance or wealth or success, add those tokens in there as well. Being surrounded by those types of symbols as you are working your magic is going to help you to really create that resonant energy, as within, so without. With it being present without on your altar, it will also help to fortify the intention within. And that is something that I wanted to say. So you want to create that as without, so within mirror aspect. And so if you want to add an extra layer, and this is something that you can do if you work with your ancestors or you work with deity, you can light your deity candles, you can have your intentions going, petitions under your deity, you can put an offering of food and drink there. I have an offering of wine here, and I have food on a plate over here, which you can't see, but it's here. I'll make sure to take a picture of it so that you can see what I'm talking about. But essentially, that is it. It doesn't need to be ultra convoluted. It can be done very, very quickly. You can add or subtract from it. The idea here is that this charm is as simple as it is powerful. The more you put into it, yes, the more you're going to get out of it. But even if you just add the bare minimum, which is what I just did, I added the bare minimum, 1, 1, 1, 1 of everything, like that is still going to create a really powerful charm. And that is what you want. Simplicity is key. Having a clear intention is key. Being ultra focused on the day is going to help you. Raising energy is going to help you. So these are the things that you want to keep in mind, and you want to be able to have present and activate within yourself during the making of your charm. Now, if you're the type of person that likes to add charms to the outside of your charm, then that would be great. You could put a little motif out here, just like a little charm dangling here. You can write symbols if you want on the outside, as long as they correlate with the number that you have used on the inside, for instance. You can mark it, you can stitch it, you can embroider it, if that's your bag. The idea here is to create a charm that, resonates with your energy. So if you're the type of person that likes to sew and stitch and crochet and do those things, then maybe a little needle point on the outside of your charm is going to be what works for you. I shudder at the thought of sewing, and so I don't use it. But if you want to make sure that you create a really powerful seal on your charm, then knot it well. And I have seen some go through the trouble of actually stitching it. Like really stitching it. They knot it, yes, and then they go through and they add stitches to it in correlation with that number of knots, just to make sure that it is really thick. In some cases, depending on what kind of material you use, that is absolutely essential to get in there, because stuff can actually pour out of the top. If you're using a thicker fabric, for instance, your ingredients can start to come out at the top, especially if they loosen a little bit. And when you're wearing your charm, it is definitely going to loosen. So that's something to, remember. Now, because a charm is filled with such goodies, there are times where you want to wake it up and breathe some energy into it, like I've said. So you go back in there every week, you breathe your intention back into it, and you feed it with your oil. the same oil that you used inside. You can also sit there and shake it and activate it. Like so, and then put it back in your bra, back in your pocket, back in your bag, back in your pillow, wherever it is that you're doing that with. At the end of the day is a good time to do this, but you have to choose a time of the day in a place that you're not going to be disturbed, where nobody's going to be present, and as such, you're able to work in privacy, because like I have previously said, if somebody claps eyes on your charm, you need to undo it, make it again. Okay? The idea here is to keep this charm absolutely hidden from sight. Now, yes, I've created a charm of my very own, but this is going to be something that obviously you've seen me create this, so this is not useful for the personal charm perspective, but it is useful for a little mojo for the house. And so you've seen me make this mojo for the house. I'm going to hang it up above my door frame and let it serve as a powerful protection in that regard. So, I didn't waste it. I will be making my own charm, and I'll be doing that, in my own time, in my own way, with no eyes on me, obviously, because you're not allowed to let people see you working your charm, right? So I hope you've come to understand that by now. But these are the things that you can do. Create the environment, be conscious of your colors, your numbers, your ingredients, because it is going to be against your skin. Light that candle, carve some symbols around you, put your all into your charm making and make sure that it really resonates. Now, keeping in mind, when it comes to numbers, if you're going to use 9 or 7 or 5, you use 5 crystals, 5 herbs. 5 tokens, 5 of everything. That's what you do. And so working with numbers is a very specific thing. Like I said, I used 2 oils, but they're not 2 of the same oil. Okay, I used 1 drop of the Witch's Shield and I used 1 drop of the Spiritual Barrier. If I was going to do working with the number 5, I'd do 5 of the Witch's Shield and 5 of the Spiritual Barrier and 5 crystals and 5 pinches of herb, or 5 individual herbs would make more sense, all in alignment with the intention. Okay, so there you have it, beautiful souls. I sincerely hope that you have enjoyed the making of this charm. I hope that you can now go away and make the charm to the best of your ability and to keep it concealed and to see how it works for you. What I would like to do is hear from you in a couple of weeks' time to see how your charm is going. Not to look at your charm, but to hear you speak on the power, the strength, the outcome, the attributes, the things that are happening in your life. I want to hear your results, in other words. So there we have it, beautiful souls. That brings us to the end of this succession of videos that is all about making a witch's charm. And so I will be setting the date for our next live Zoom hangout, our little ritual campfire gathering that we like to do, and I'll make sure that I set it for a time that is different from the last. So I may be able to set it for the weekend in an afternoon setting. Hopefully it will help me to get a few more time zones in that regard. So let's see how we go. And I will speak to you all very, very soon. Much love and many blessings. Mwah. Bye.